are tracking on schedule. Construction's going, very well. So we are where we need to be in terms of the overall schedule. Obvious what we're doing first, and that's the significant and serious infrastructure that holds up everything and puts everything in place. It's kind of like building a home. That infrastructure goes up pretty fast. And then you got to come in and do all the finish work to close the job. So again, we're pleased with where we are.
And I think on this project, we knew what we were up against from the very beginning. So we knew it was going to be a difficult schedule. We started working 60 hours a week. We bought all of our subcontractors working 6 days a week, 10-hour days, and we've done that from day one. And we do that in order to avoid getting down to the end where you're working 24 hours a day.
Right.
That's not a good plan for anybody. We may get there. We may still be doing that in the end, but we're trying to avoid that by working long hours now and keeping on schedule. And so far we are. That's probably the next question. We are on schedule where we want to be, and happy to be there.
The project will have different completion dates.
Right.
Obviously, the elements that need to be completed for the first home game in the 2016 season, all the seating, club seats, the clubs, the loge boxes, the suites, those items will be completed. The other auxiliary elements, the student-athlete areas, the coaches' offices, those elements will complete later in the project.
Is that for after the season? Is that the plan? Or?
It will most likely be after the season. It'll be sometime in the spring of 17.
Okay.
What the stuff that you have to get finished by the opener,
Yes.
what's your scheduled finish date for that stuff?
Well, there's lots of different finish terms that occur in a project, but substantial completion will be about 20 days prior to the initial kickoff. But substantial completion really does mean you could use the facility. So we're looking at, trying to get it done and ready to go by the first part of August. But as in lots of projects, I'm sure we're going to be doing some moving in of furniture and some work in the club and the suites areas right up until game time.
Was there any thought to moving the spring game or not doing anything different with the spring game considering all the construction going on, or was that always going to?
Well, it was always an item for us to think about and consider. At early stages, we had to finally determine which phase of the entire master plan would be done, and with the phase that's ongoing, it'll still allow some use of the stadium. Obviously, lots of elements here are still in place, and we'll still be able to use elements of the stadium for the spring game.
And right now we've completed, and of course you can look out there and see, but we've completed all of our major demolition. We started with the demolition before the season started, before the football season. We completed after the football season. That was with the demolition of the scoreboard. And before the season was over, we was already into the middle of our foundations, structural concrete foundations, and already erecting steel. Yeah, and of course, right now our foundations are nearing completion. Steel erection is ongoing. Area D, where the suites are going to be erected, just right over here on the right-hand side of us. We will have that framing all completed by mid-February, and so then we can start interior work on the suites. Underground plumbing, underground electrical, all that's in process and coming right on target. So from 11/21 to January 21, we have all of the stadium seating completed over here in Area D as far as rough. Now, we don't have the final finish there, but we do have all the steel erected up to the suite level, plus all the stadium seating in place.
When will you start on that side?
Well, we've already started foundations over there. We're planning on starting erection steel over in Area F, which is on the west side. We're planning on starting on that on February 6th. So that's just around the corner.
It'll take us a couple months to get that stood out. You have to do the precast in sequence with the steel because of the crane access. So you set steel, you set precast, and you set more steel, then you set more precast, and we'll take about a 2-month duration on that too, probably. Yeah.
We should be erecting a new scoreboard. You should be seeing the skyline change. New scoreboard should be going up somewhere around mid to latter March.